Kitkatscanread.
Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be filming with you an updated series, trilogies, duologies that I am in the middle of reading. So yes, I'm going to try and slot this into like one video as best as I possibly can, so there won't be like a lot of talking. It will be just like literally just saying like the series, the author, and what book I'm on. In here I will have the picture of the books over here because the majority of my books are boxed up due to hopefully moving at some point this year. So without further ado, let's get started. So in total I've got 159 series. There might be some more that I just haven't mentioned, but I have just gone on from like my Goodreads of what I've started since I started Goodreads. But there might be like some that I started like in the past that I just like, you know, completely have forgotten about, but I'm sure they will be like on the list. So here we go. So number one is If I Stay by Gail Forman. There is like a duology of this and the second book, which is over here. This is the one that I'm up to for this one. Who is On the Edge by Alison Van Dypen, and I will need to start again. There is a book that does come after this, but I would like to reread the first book again and then I can like continue on with that. 3 is My Love Lies Bleeding by Alexandra Harvey. I got quite a few books in this series. I read this like years ago, I think actually before my booktube journey, and yeah, like I didn't get to complete the series, so I would need to start again from the beginning. And yeah, so book number 1, My Love Lies Bleeding. 4 is the After series by Anna Todd. I am on the second book, After We Collided. I recently reread the first book, so it's fresh in my mind. I want to continue on with this so that I can watch like the second film and like the other films along with it, and then continue on with that series. Number 5 is the Unearthly series by Cynthia Han. I will need to start with the first book again. There is a sequel that's after this called Hallowed, so I need to start the first book again to get back into it, and then read the sequel. Number 6 is the Dark Element series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I would have to start reading the first book again, which is White Hot Kiss. I only had read the first book, but I would need to read it again. I remember absolutely loving it, as I always with Jennifer L. Armentrout's books, so I can't wait to reread it again. 7 is the Immortal series by Alison Noel. I would have to start again book number 1, which is Evermore. I read I think 3 books in this series and I honestly can't remember too much from it, so I would need to start again from the beginning to push through. I do own all of the books, so it really is literally the case of starting from the beginning and working my way through again. Number 8 is the Fallen series by Lauren Kate, and I have read the first book, Fallen. I think I've reread it actually once before, but it is still fresh in my mind. There is a Fallen movie that they did as well, that you can look out for, but I am on the second book, which is Torment, which I have also read before. I can't remember anything about it, so I need to reread that one. Number 9 is the Shatter Me series by Tahira Murphy. Luckily I have been reading from this. I started with Shatter Me this year and then I continued on with this second book as well. Good for the late night bookworm book club, and also with my other friends as well. So I'm on the third book now of this series, so I'm going really well with this one. Number 10 is the House of Night series by PC and Christine Cast. I am on book number 5 of this one over here. This I think this is a reread, and I think the next book is a reread too. Yeah, the next 2 books will be rereads, so like this one and the next one are rereads, and then the books beyond that I hadn't read before. So I still remember everything that's gone on, luckily, because I have been rereading this series again and I'm ready to continue, so hopefully pretty soon I will. It is a very sort of cheesy series of like vampires, but I can't help but really liking it. Like for me, I actually really like it. Number 11 is the Sweet Evil series by Wendy Higgins. I read the first 2 books of this and I hadn't read the third one. I will need to read the first one again and the second one because I don't remember much that happened in them. 12 is Under the Never Sky series by Veronica Rossi. I am going to start with book number 1 again. I wasn't massively keen the first time I read it at the beginning of my booktube journey, and I have books 2 and 3. and yeah, I need to get those read. Number 13 is The Air, which is the spin-off series by Kira Cass. This comes after the Selection series, which I have read and really enjoyed. I do want to actually read that series again, but because I completed those 3 books, it's not really like on this list. So yes, at some point I will want to reread those and then go on to The Air. I did read the first book, The Air, and there is one that's after it, so I want to reread The Air again, but I think I need to just read the Selection trilogy again and then go on to this spin-off. Number 14 is Darkness Rising series by Kelly Armstrong. I really was liking these books. They are like shapeshifter books. I read books 1 and 2 and I still have yet to read book 3, but I really want to reread books 1 and 2 again to get it fresh in my head, so I'm going to start with the first book again. Number 15 is the Grisha series by Leigh Bardugo. I recently reread Shadow and Bone, so I'm on the second book, Siege and Storm. I do need to continue on with this one. Next of all is the 100 series by Cass Morgan. I read the first book. I did read the second book, but I don't remember too much of what happened in the second book, so I need to reread that so that I continue on with the 100 series. Number 17 is the Fire and Flood series by Victoria Scott. I did read the first book, Fire and Flood. I do have the second book, Salt and Stone, so I need to read Fire and Flood again. I really enjoyed it actually. It kind of reminded me of like Pokemon in like a Hunger Games setting. Yeah, I really like that. Number 18 is the Wait For You series by Jennifer Armentrout. I have recently reread the first book, Wait For You, so I would be on the second book now. And yes, I can't wait to continue with this series. Number 19 is Unraveling by Elizabeth Norris. I have got the first book and the second book, and yeah, I need to reread the first book in this again. It's a time traveling book series, and yeah, I really did enjoy the first book, so I want to reread it again because it was a fairly good and interesting quick read. 20 is the Blood of Eden series by Julie Kagawa. I read the first 2 books in this, never got around to reading the third book. I had this thing where I didn't want to read the third book because I didn't want the series to be over, because this was one of my favourite series at the time. It's really good vampire series, so I need to reread books 1 and 2, so I've got to start from the beginning again. Number 21 is the Pushing the Limit series by Katie McGarry. I need to reread Pushing the Limits again. I've reread it a couple of times now and I've never got around to reading the second book. I just want it to be fresh in my head. I think both times I've read it I did give it 4 out of 5. But I haven't rated it, like, I don't think on Corpile, because the last time I read it was a few years ago, so I'm going to try again and just see how I get with it. But I do own like some books in this series, so yeah, I would like to continue on with this. Number 22 is the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. I've read both Cinder and Scarlet, but I would like to start from the beginning again so it's fresh in my head, so I can continue on with Crest. The third book, yeah, is like quite a chonker, and even Winter is even chunkier, so I do have this like intimidating thing with bigger books. But I just need to sort of like just get my head down and just read them, because I really enjoyed Cinder and Scarlet, and I get the chance to reread them all over again. Number 23 is the Goddess War series by Kendare Blake. I have only read the first book, Anti-Goddess. I don't remember anything about it at all, so I need to read that again. Number 24 is the Earthbound series by April Pike. I need to reread the first book again because, again, I don't remember anything about the first book. Number 25 is the Shipwrecks series by Sibyl Kerham. I have got the sequel and I absolutely loved the first book, so I am just like, you know what, I want to reread the first book so it's fresh in my head again so I can continue and read the second book. Nutmeg! 26 is the Angel series by L.A. Weatherly. I need to reread the first book again, Angel. I have got the second and the third book, and they are all chunky books, so yes, I need to get around to reading that again. Nutmeg! Stop it! 27 is the Fifth Wave series by Rick Yancey. I've read the first 2 books in this, but I would like to reread the Fifth Wave again. Nutmeg! Stop it! No. 28 is What's Left of Me by Kat Zhang. I've got the sequel to this. This was one of the first books I read on my channel. It's kind of there still in my head, but I would like to refresh my head on it. Nutmeg! Stop it! 29 is the Glow series by Amy Catherine Ryan. I have only read the first book, Glow, and I don't own the sequel, but I remember really liking Glow. It's a really good YA sci-fi book. Hopefully I do still enjoy it though. Nutmeg! Come here! Come here! Come here, Nutmeg! Number 30 is this Star-Crossed series by Josephine Angelini. I need to reread the first book. They've actually recently released a spin-off called Scions, or Scions. I'm not sure, I can't remember how it's pronounced. But yes, so now it's kind of prompted me to give this series another read again. I never finished it, so yes, but I really liked it, with Greek gods and forbidden romance. Yeah, I really liked Star-Crossed. Number 31 is the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I need to reread the first book again, Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief. When I first read it, I watched the movie first, which then ruined the book experience for me, and I hated the book. I want to read this with a fresher head to see like whether I enjoy it more without thinking about the movie. 32 is the Covenant series by Jennifer Armentrout. I read the first couple of books in this series, so I don't remember too much of what happened though. I need to like dive into it all over again. 33 is the Unremembered series by Jessica Brody. I again read the first two books, didn't complete the third because the third book I didn't want it to end. It was another one of my favourite series. So yes, I definitely look forward to rereading this all over again. Hopefully it still remains another one of my favourite series. And yeah, I really liked this one. Number 34 is the Dolphin Diary series by Lucy Daniels. I am on book number 3 in this series. I think when I was younger I read like 5 of the volumes, so I did pretty well when I was younger, but I don't remember too much. Like when I'm reading them I can remember some bits, but yeah, my memory is a bit hazy. So yes, I'm starting to reread them all over again and hopefully complete them all because I love dolphins, they're my favourite animal by far. So yes, I'm on book number 3. Number 35 is the Murder Complex by Lindsay Cummins, and I have got the second book, but I would need to reread the first book to refresh my mind in order to continue. Number 36 is the Wicked series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I have only read the first book. They are bringing out a second movie. I have seen the first movie, but I would like to reread the first book, Wicked, so that it's fresh in my mind as well. 37 is Mila 2.0 by Deborah Dreiser. I think I've got the sequel. I'm not entirely sure though. So I need to reread Mila 2.0. I kind of remember some bits of it. I know it's like about an android. I really liked it at the time, so I'm hoping I really enjoy it again. 38 is the Shiver series by Maggie Stiefvater. I have only read the first book. I read it before BookTube. I don't remember too much. I just know that it was about a boy that shapeshifted and he was like a wolf. So yeah, but I remember it being very slow to get into. So I would like to read it again and see what I think about it many years on, and then continue on with the series because there's a lot more books out of it now. Number 39 is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I've only read the first book, Red Queen. I really enjoyed it. I do need to reread it. I've got the other books that are in the series now. Hopefully I can read it and continue. Number 40 is the In Your Dream series by Amy Martin. I've read the first 2 books in this. I haven't got around to reading the third yet, so I need to reread the first book again. This is a book that's about narcolepsy. And yeah, I really did enjoy the first 2 books. Number 41 is the Easy series by Tamara. I think it's actually called Contours of the Heart. I want to reread Easy again, and then I can go on to reading the sequel. 42 is the Alienated series by Melissa Landers. I have read the first book. I actually really enjoyed it. Obviously it's about aliens in it. Yeah, I just want to refresh my mind because I don't remember anything about the first book. Number 43 is the Across the Universe series by Beth Revis. I have only read the first book. It's a sci-fi YA series. yeah, I did actually really enjoy this one, so I'd like to continue and start by rereading the first book again. 44 is the Altered series by Jennifer Rush. I really enjoyed the first book. I kind of remember some bits. I do have the sequel, so I need to reread the first book again. 45 is the Geek Girl series by Holly Smale. I got quite into this series. I read I think the first 4, and I think I only had one left, but I really want to reread it again. It is one of my favourite series, and I really want to read it all over again, and I feel like it's going to make me laugh all over again, so I'll start with the first book, Geek Girl, again. 46 is the Flawed series by Cecilia A. Hearn. I need to reread the first book, Flawed. I really did enjoy it. It's kind of like dystopian, and yeah, I really look forward to reading it again. 47 is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I read the first book. I know it's kind of like inspired by Titanic, I believe, in space. So yeah, I don't remember much about it though, so I need to reread that again. I do have the other books that are in the series, really beautiful covers, so yeah, I need to continue on with that. 48 is the Tempest series by Julie Cross. I've only read the first book, Tempest. This is a time travel series. I would like to continue on with this. I do have the sequel, Vortex, so I need to reread Tempest again, but this is one that I read at the very beginning of my booktube journey. 49 is the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick, a very old series. I have reread Hush Hush quite a few times, and even Crescendo. I just want to start all over again so I can read it. It's about angels, fallen angels. I love it so much. Number 50 is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. This is one that I'm slowly working my way through. I haven't touched a book from this series though, I don't think this year, so I really need to get cracking with that. But the next book that I'm on is the Bane Chronicles. I'm trying to read this all in publication order, and not get myself spoiled into it. But yes, this is, I've got my list. I'm working my way through. 51 is the Girl Online series by Zoe Sugg. I've only read the first book. Really loved it. And I do have books 2 and 3, so I need to reread the first book so that I can continue on with that. 52 is the Ember of the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir. I am on the second book of this one now. I've reread the first book, absolutely loved it. So good. But I do hear that this second book is a little bit more disappointing, so hopefully I do end up enjoying it. Nutmeg, stop it! Number 53 is the Darkest Minds series by Alexandra Bracken. I've only read the first book, The Darkest Minds. I really do want to reread it. I've tried with audiobook. I think I read it physically the first time and then I audiobooked it, and it's fluctuated between 5 stars and 4 stars. So I want to have it fresh in my head and read it, and then to continue on with it finally. 54 is Teardrop by Lauren Kate. I have the sequel, Waterfall. I really loved the first book. I just want to give it a reread so that I can dive into the sequel. 55 is the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer series. I have recently reread the first book, The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I'm now on to the second book now. I look forward to reading it. This is a perfect time of year to read these books, so it might end up being pretty soon that I dive into it, hopefully, now that it's getting colder. 56 is the Water Song series by Amanda Hocking. I have only read the first book, Wake, so I need to reread that again. It's about mermaids, so yeah, I really loved it though. I gave it 5 stars when I first read it, so I want to reread it again and then continue on with that. 57 is the Archived series by Victoria Schwab. I have read the Archived. I found it really hard to get into. I want to see how I get on like a few years later, because the last time I read it was like a lot of years ago. Number 58 is the Not a Drop to Drink series by Mindy McGuinness. So I've only read the first book. I still kind of remember like a bit of it, but I want to reread it again. I've got the sequel. So yeah, I'll read the first book again. 59 is the Soul Seeker series, with the first book being Fated, which I read. I really struggled to get into this one. This was at the beginning of my booktube journey. I think it was the beginning of my blogging journey actually, so it was just before booktube. And so that's a long time ago now. I want to reread it. I've got the other books in the series. I love Alison Noel with her Immortal series. so I really want to like this series as well, and I really like the concept of the series. I think I gave the first book 3 out of 5 when I first read it, so I'm really hoping that my head changes with it, so we'll see if my mind changes this time around. Number 60 is the Hereafter series by Tara Hudson. I've only read Hereafter. I do have the sequel. Again, I will just need to refresh my head on Hereafter. I remember some bits of it, but I just need to like get my mind fresh on it. 61 is the Hotel Royale series by Katie Birchall. I loved the first book. It's based in a hotel where you get famous people. It's so funny. I loved it. It was amazing. I just want to reread the first book all over again because I loved it so much, and then go into the sequel that I've never got around to reading. I love it. 62 is the Animal Arc series by Lucy Daniels. I am on book number 8 at the moment of this one. I'm slowly rereading through these. I've read some of these as a child. I can't remember which ones I've read to be exact, because I read them out of order, to be honest. But I'm slowly working my way through because I love these books. It's about a little girl called Mandy Hope, and her parents are vets. She wants to be a vet when she's older. She's got a best friend called James, and she deals with like animals that get injured or lost or anything to do with animals. And it's just a really fun book that's normally around 150 pages. And yeah, they're just really fun quick reads. 63 is the Illuminae File series by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I want to physically reread Illuminae. I've listened to the audiobook, but I want to physically read it this time. I've got the copy now, I've got my own copy, and then I can finally read Gemina and then the third book. 64 is the Maze Runner series by James Dashner. I'm on the third book now, The Death Cure. I've watched all of the movies and love the movies so much. I prefer the second movie to the second book. I really got emotionally involved in the third movie, so I really want to see how different and similar some bits are with the third book, but yeah, I do need to get around to that. 65 is the Me Before You series by Jojo Moyes. I need to reread the second book. I still remember the first book perfectly fine. There's a movie on it, but I don't really remember the second book. I do own the third book as well, but I just need to refresh my mind on the second book before continuing. 66 is the Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J Maas. I am rereading the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury. I remember like the first half of the book, but I don't remember the second half, so I just need to refresh my mind on that before continuing on with that one. 67 is the Missing series by Meg Cabot. I love this series so much. I've only ever read like the first 2 books. I just want to start all over again with the first book again when lightning strikes. I love it like loads, so I can't wait to start again and continue on with it. Like, oh, it's just awesome. 68 is the Warm Body series by Isaac Marion. I am on the second book that is in this series because I did reread Warm Bodies and ended up enjoying it all over again. 69 is the No I Can't Even series by Simon James Green. I'm going to reread the first book again so I can read the second book. This book is just so hilarious and great and funny. I love it. 70 is the Waterfire series by Jennifer Donnelly. I need to reread the first book again so that I can go into the second book, Rogue Wave, and then on from there. 71 is the Blood for Blood series by Catherine Doyle. This is a like Romeo and Juliet retelling. It's great. 72 is the Anna and French Kiss series. I need to reread Lola the Boy Next Door before going into Isla and Happily the Ever After. 73 is the Replica series by Lauren Oliver. I want to reread Replica again. I really love the concept of like flipping it over. 74 is the Anna Dressed in Blood series by Kendall Blake. I am on the second book now of this one. 75 is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. I'm on the third book, Air of Fire now. 76 is Ink and Bone by Rachel Kane. I DNF'd this book when I first read it, but I really love the concept of it and I want to love it, so I found the book and I'm going to give it a go again. 77 is the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. I am on the fourth book now, Blood Promise, which is also a reread, but I don't remember anything about it. 78 is the Nil series by Lynn Matson. I'm on the second book, Nil Unlocked. 79 is Beautiful Creatures series by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I'm on the second book of this one. 80 is Legend series by Marie Lu. I'm on the second book, Prodigy. 81 is the Mediator series by Meg Cabot. I'm slowly going through this one and rereading it so that I can finally complete it. And I am on book number 3. 82 is the Princess Diaries series by Meg Cabot. I'm starting from the beginning again with book number 1. I've never read the 10th book in this series, so I'm starting from the beginning. 83 is the Ruby Red series by Kirsten Gear. I'm going to start again with Ruby Red. It's a time travel series. It's got a movie. Love it. 84 is the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. I am on the 3rd book, Allegiant. I got spoiled in it, which is why I haven't got around to reading it. It's staring at me right now. I need to read it and just face it. It stumped me big time. I was really pissed off when I got spoiled on it, on the major spoiler in the book. So yeah, I do need to read it so that I can just finally say I've read it, and then I've got the book 4 as well to read. 85 is the 50 Shades series by Yale James. I'm on the 2nd book of this. 86 is the Making Out series by Catherine Applegate. I'm slowly rereading through this one. I got to like book 9, so I'm on book 5 at the moment, which I'm rereading. 87 is the Secret Circle series by L.J. Smith. I'm going to start again from book number 1 because like I just can't remember too much about the books. 88 is the Voices series by Sue Mayfield. I have read the first book, Voices. I'm on the 2nd book now, Poisoned. 89 is the No Virgin series by Anne Cassidy. I'm on the 2nd book, which is No Shame. 90 is Some Quiet Place by Kelsey Sutton. I'm going to start rereading the first book again. I actually kind of like enjoyed this one. 91 is the Fairy Tale series by Rosamund Hodge. I read the first book. It was very bizarre. I'm on to the 2nd one now. 92 is the Sinner series by Abby Kettner and Melissa Kaladzicki, I want to say. And yeah, I'm on the first book, Branded, and I've read it. I need to reread it to get it fresh in my head. 93 is the Everyday series by David Everton. I am on the 3rd book now of this one. 94 is the Georgetown Academy series by J.K. Etting, and I need to reread the first book again because I DNF'd it the first time and I just want to give it a go again. 95 is the Miss Peregrine series by Ransom Riggs. I need to reread Hollow City again before I go into the 3rd book. 96 is the As Red as Blood series by Stella Samuka. I'm on to the 2nd book of this one. 97 is the Half Bad series by Sally Green. I need to reread the first book again, Half Bad. 98 is the Saga series by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I've recently read the 4th volume, so I'm on to the 5th volume now. 99 is the Superlative series by Jennifer Eccles. I've never read the 3rd book. I loved the first 2 books in this, but I've recently, last year, got the paperback copies of them, so I'm going to blast my way through them all over again and love them all over again. 100 is the Silence of Sex series by E.C. Myers. I'm going to reread the first book again to get my hair fresh again. 101 is the Tall, Tatted and Tempting series by Tammy Faulkner. Loved the first book, but I read it, I think it was like 2015, so I need to read it again and then just binge the rest of the books. 102 is the After the End series by Amy Plum. I can't really remember this book, so I need to reread it. 103 is the Magisterium series by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. I have got the physical first book now. I need to reread it anyway. I've got the other books in the series too, so I can finally reread it and then continue on with it again. 104 is the Bully series by Penelope Douglas. I recently reread Bully, loved it again, so I need to continue on with the 2nd book. 105 is the Extraction series by Stephanie Diaz. I've only read the first book. I don't remember any of it though. I just remember loving it. I own the 2nd book, so I need to reread the first book. 106 is the Tellus series by Lucy Saxon. I've only read the first book, Taped by the Skies. Really gorgeous cover. I don't remember too much about it. I need to reread it. 107 is the Ladybird series by Jenna McLachlan. I've only read the first book. I need to reread it again and then continue on with this one. 108 is the Flynn series by Stephen Mackenzie. I never finished the last book, so I'm going to start again with the first book. This was a book, if I remember, with a very kind of like problematic relationship between the main 2 characters. 109 is the Pledge series by Kimberly Derting. I've only read the first book. I need to reread it. I don't remember it. 110 is the Jess Jordan series by Sue Lim. A series that I would recommend. It's one of those funny, hilarious series that's very similar to like Louise Renaissance series. I need to reread it again. I only read like I think the first 3 books, and there's quite a lot of books in the series, so I need to read it and start it again from the beginning. Number 11 is the High Society series by Ellie Carter. I've only read the first book. I need to read it so I can continue on with it. Literally is just about a heist. It was really fun though. 112 is the Forest of Hands and Thieves series by Carrie Ryan. I got the second book. I need to reread the first book though. I know it's kind of like about vampires. It's a very strange book if I remember, so I want to kind of reread it again. Number 113 is the Shade series by Jerry Smith Reddy. I need to reread the first book again because I don't remember too much about it. I remember quite enjoying it though. 114 is the Hunt series by Andrew Fukuda. I need to reread the first book. Again, I think it's like vampires. 115 is the Body Finder series by Kimberly Derting. I was disappointed by the first book if I remember, so I want to see how it is. I read it at the beginning of my booktube journey. I want to see how it is, like where I am now, so I can continue on with it. 116 is the Hidden series by Marion Kelly. I remember at the time really enjoying this book, but I don't remember anything about it. I do have the sequel though, so I need to reread this one. 117 is the Breathe series by Sarah Crossan. It's a dystopian series. I've got the sequel. I need to reread the first book. 118 is a Shimmer of Angel series by Lisa M. Basso. This I read before booktube. I really enjoyed it, but I don't remember anything about it, and I know there's a couple of other books in the series now, but I think it was a book that I got as like one of my first books from NetGalley, so I need to reread this book. 119 is the Withering Tights series by Louise Renaissance, which is the spin-off series after the Angus Thong's Full Frontal Snogging series. So yeah, I would like to reread the first book of this one. 120 is the Artemis Fowl series by Ian Colfer. I need to reread the first book, Artemis Fowl. I know there's a TV show of this now, so yeah, that'd be interesting. 121 is the Diamond of Drury Lane series by Julia Golding. I need to reread the first book, Diamond of Drury Lane. I do own all of the books, but this was a book that I read years ago when I was like, I think I was like 13 or 14 or something like that. 122 is the Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging series by Louise Renaissance. I don't think I ever finished the last book, and I read these all like before booktube, so I need to just read these all over again. 123 is the Chemical Garden series by Lauren DeStefano. I read the first book, really enjoyed it, so I need to go on with the second book. 124 is Ghost in LA series by S. Grace. I'm on volume number 2. This is a graphic novel. I got the first volume from NetGalley, but I know there are other volumes in this now. 125 is the Love Me Not series by I. Salazar. I'm also on volume number 2. This is also another one that I got from NetGalley. 126 is the Archive of Scythe series by Neil Schusterman. I'm on book number 2, Thunderhead. I'm actually going to be recently rereading and chatting about Scythe soon, as part of my book club. So this will be good because it'll mean I'll be ready to jump into book 2 soon. 127 is the Every Heart a Doorway series by Shannon Maguire. I've only read the first book, so I need to read the second book. 128 is the Teen Titans graphic novel series by Cami Garcia. I am on to the second book, which is Beast Boy. 129 is the Did I Mention I Love You series, also known as the Dimily series. I am on book number 3 of this now. Really great romance series. 130 is the Harry Potter A Journey series by J.K. Rowling. I've only read the first one, so I need to continue on with the second one. 131 is the Spoke Thieves series by Sally Green. I'm on the third book of this now. 132 is the Curses Dark and Lonely series by Bridget Kemmerer. I'm on the second book of this. 133 is the Kiss and Booth series by Beth Rickles. I am on the second book of this. 134 is the You series by Karen Kepnes. I'm on the third book of this. 135 is the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina series by R.A. Sakasa. I'm on volume number 7 at the moment. 136 is the KON series by Kaki Fly. I'm on volume number 3 of this. 137 is the Dimple and Rishi series. I am on the second book of this. This is by Sanya Menon. 138 is the Eve of Man series by Giovanna and Tom Fletcher. I am on the second book, The Evolution. 139 is the Northern Lights series by Philip Pullman. I didn't really ever finish this series, so I need to read it. and I remember the first book, so I just need to reread the second book. 140 is the Edge of Never series by J.R. Redmarsky. I'm just going to start again from the beginning with the Edge of Never. It's one of my favourite books, so I can't wait. 141 is the Wicked Villains series by Katie Robert. I've read the first book. I wasn't really keen on it, but I still want to see how I feel about the other books, so I'm on the second book now. 142 is the Christmas Sorrow series by Tom Fletcher. I'm on the second book. 143 is the Little Bridge Island series by Meg Cabot. I'm on the second book of this one. 144 is the Brown Sisters series by Tally Hibbert. I'm on the second book of this one. 145 is the Fruit Basket series by N. Takaya, and I am on volume collection number 3. I am going to be reading this in October though, so I will hopefully be on volume collection number 4 by then. 146 is the Persona 5 series by H. Marusaki. I am on volume number 3 of this one. I really enjoyed this one actually. 147 is the Shapeshifter Chronicles by Natasha Brown. I'm on volume number 2 of this one. 148 is the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer Armentrout. I'm on the second book of this one, which I'm hopefully going to be getting to in October. 149 is the Once Upon a Con series by Ashley Poston. I'm on the second book. The first one, loved it. 150 is the Shaman King graphic novel, and it's by H. Takai. I am on volume number 2. 151 is the Pretty Funny series by Rebecca Elliott. Loved the first book. It is literally pretty funny, so I'm on the second book now. 152 is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I'm on the second book of this now. 153 is the Vampire Dormitory series by Emma Toyama. I am on volume number 2 of this one. This one I read on NetGalley. 154 is the Crave series by Tracy Wolfe. I am on the second book, which I'm hopefully going to be reading in October. 155 is a Serenade for Pretend Lovers graphic novel series by Tina Comey. I am on volume number 2. I got this from NetGalley. 156 is the Lightfall Files by Dane Cobain. Dane sent me his third book this year, so I do need to get round to reading that at some point. 157 is the You're My Cutie graphic novel series by N. Harafuji. I am on volume number 4 of this one, but I don't think it's been published yet, so I'm literally waiting for that one. So at the moment I'm up to date. 158 is the Waiting for Spring graphic novel series by Anushin. There's quite a lot of volumes of this out now. I've only read the first one, but I'm on volume number 2 now. And last but not least, the Vampire Diaries series by L.J. Smith. I'm making my way through this series, and I am on the second book now. I'm rewatching the TV show and re-loving it all over again and comparing it to the book series. So yes, it would be good to finally get it read, because I've had the books forever, it seems. That is pretty much my updated list. Like I say, there might be some books that I have completely forgotten off of the list, but if I do, then I'll do like an update like of numbers. I'll add it to the list and I'll do an updated video, but as of now that's all I can kind of like think of from like my Goodreads. But there's probably some old series, like I say, that I have started that I just like haven't got round to reading like the other books too, and I have just forgotten. So yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's probably going to be a bit of a chunker of a video. I tried to be as quick as I possibly could, but it's all in one video, so I can reflect back on it as well and just see where I am maybe in like another year's time, and just see like, did I continue, did I finish some? Compared to last time when I actually did the video previously, I had completed some series. I've completed the To All the Boys I Loved Before series. I continued on with a couple of other series. I completed the Infernal Devices trilogy. I found that I did do a couple of duplicates as well. The Heartstopper series I've completed. yeah, so like a few series I did complete from the last time I did the video, so I think it is definitely good to keep tabs on this. But yeah, 159 series though is far too many series to be in the middle of, definitely. But it just goes to show that series are just coming out all the time, and especially like on NetGalley and stuff, and especially with graphic novels. And then once you start it, like, there you go, you've got another series. And it was part of my target for this year was to actually like continue and like read with these. So yes, it is a bit of a difficult one, but yeah, fingers crossed that I don't keep starting series and that I can continue on with some series. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any series, maybe we can buddy read, like what's on your TBR of series that you need to get rid of, and maybe count how many series you are in the middle of by looking through your Goodreads or Storygraph or your bookshelves, and just let me know in the comments, because I'd like to know, and to hope and pray that I am not the only one that's in the middle of like all of these, and hopefully we can achieve this all together. But yes, that's it for me for today. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. All of my social media links are linked down below in the description if you'd like to follow me elsewhere. Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads. It's all down below. I also have a TikTok at Kitkatscanread. I have gaming channels, book clubs, all linked down below. But I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. Keep smiling, keep reading, and be happy. My name is Katie, and I will see all of you wonderful, awesome people in my next video. Bye!